Our next artist is Irmari Nacht, and I hope you've gotten to see her wildly textured books here in the exhibit. Irmari has exhibited in many major museums in New Jersey, the Newark Museum, the New Jersey State Museum, the Morris Museum, the Montclair Art Museum, and she's in many public and corporate collections. She's exhibited at the Jimmy Carter Museum, the Cleveland Art Institute, the Yale Art Museum, the International Museum of Collage in Mexico, and she's exhibited also many other places internationally. She's received 2 New Jersey State Council on the Arts fellowships in sculpture and a 2nd Puffin Foundation grant, and that was for Who Am I? And I like the way it's spelled. I'm an interactive project where the viewer becomes part of the artwork. And she's made artist books for many years, but in 2007, she began working steadily on the Save series. And she's still working on that with that series. And they've been in many collections. They're actually in many different countries. And she uses books that otherwise might be discarded, and she transforms them into artworks, and as part of the Save series. So, Mari, looking forward to hearing more and seeing more of your photographs.
Got it. Okay. Ideas seemingly come uninvited.
Use the mic.
Oh, mic. Okay. How's that? Better? Better. Oh, okay. Sorry. But there really aren't spontaneous acts of creativity. I'll get it later. What seems like an idea out of the blue is usually based on ideas that have been whirling around in your head. The basic you, how you think, who you are. I think the ideas for my books appear in a flash when I sit down to a blank book. But really, it's a compilation of all the things I believe in and my basic approach to life and art, etc. So let's see if we can get this to work. So, oops, wrong way. Okay. To understand my books, we have to start with some givens. One, I'm very interested in recycling, reusing, and repurposing. 2, the thought that a book might become technologically obsolete with the advent of the Nook and the Kindle scares me. 3, I'm fascinated with the strength of multiple images. 4, I like the tactile feel of paper, the texture, the size, the shape, the typefaces, and most important, I'm really fascinated with the end papers, the colors and the images in the end papers. I've been doing books of some sort for 25 plus years, and as Karen mentioned, I started the series Saved in 2007, and I've been working on this concept and developing it ever since. I'm more interested in the concept than the content of the book. I'm interested in the visual and sculptural qualities of the book. I like the idea of transforming a book into a piece of art. The way I work is I make little rules for myself. The book must have no added pages or slivers. I don't add elements from another book. Each book is its own entirety. I can paint, spray, use encaustics, threads, water, fire, but I must maintain the basic integrity of the book. 3 of my books have recently gone to the Yale Art Museum. They were curated by Doug Bube and purchased for Alan Chazanoff's collection, The Books Under Pressure, which he then donated to Yale. I think the premise of this collection was that each book was made as a self-contained unit. They will be shown to the public in the fall of 2014. So what do? I basically cut pages in various ways into slivers and slices, and sometimes folding them. My aim, again, is to recycle what was a discarded, well-read book, hopefully loved, and transform it into a piece of artwork, retaining its past, but living again as a totally new object, a piece of sculpture. Often, the book returns to the tree-like shape from which the paper was made. And I should mention that no new books were hurt in this process. I only use books that were from book sales and destined for the trash heap. Okay. I also distress books by folding and cutting, wetting, sewing, squinching. This piece is called Elements, and it consists of 4 books: Fire, Air, Water, and Earth, and was made over a period of 8 months with the books set afire, soaked in water, buried in the earth, and blown with air. It also has a little accordion book which explains the process, and I hope to make people aware of environmental changes and subliminally get people to be thinking about recycling, reusing, and re-imaging. Okay. I've always been fascinated by multiple images. My large sculptures, small handmade paper pieces, and collages are all made up of similar forms and shapes that are repeated. One strip or sliver from a book is okay. Several are interesting, but many take on a whole new life. It is very difficult to continue in the same procedure to allow it to get boring. You get in the zone as you work, but I work with an X-Acto knife, so it's very dangerous. So I try not to work where it gets too automatic, and I try to not work on more than a few pages at a time because I'm really afraid of getting cut. So as I work with the repeated elements, every once in a while I break the pattern and I try to have a new and different design as I'm working. I'm very interested in the engineering of a book, how I can make it stand up, the type show in a certain way, how I can create depth, the patterns that it will create. Recently, my books have exploded. They've gotten a bit weird. And what started out as a 6-inch book, through various cuts and folds, has grown to 25 inches. I brought an unfinished one with me to show how it's made. I was planning to finish it for the symposium to show, but some artist friends said it'll be more interesting to show it in action. So I'm going to show you that now. Stay.
Trying to get a dog yesterday.
Okay. What? Oh, yeah, I'm going to hold it up. I'm going to hold it up. Is that what you're asking? Yeah. Oh, what? I can't. Oh, well, I don't know. Anyway, I'm holding it up. Okay, so let there be light. Okay. So this book is a 5.5-inch book. And can you hear me? Am I talking okay? Okay. So I go through these books like 3 times. The first time I go and I sort of start making the cuts, whether they're straight cuts or zigzag cuts or swirly cuts, whatever. I go through once. Then meanwhile, I'm thinking about what I want this book to look like, and I picked this one because I loved the silver, and I loved the shiny silver inside, and the black and the white and the monochromness of it. So that part turned me on. So the second time I go through and I loosen up all the cuts because the first time, sometimes they don't get totally cut. So the third time I go through and I open things up, and that's the exciting part, because although I think I know what's going to happen, I don't always know what's going to happen. And so this is, when I go through, I pull out various things. So to show you like an uncut, like this is a cut page, but nothing's happened to it yet. These are all cut pages. And what I'm intending to do, as you can see, one of them is sticking out here. What I'm intending to do, I hope it'll work, when it's finished, the second page is going to start coming through each of these things in a sort of irregular kind of way. And hopefully it'll work out right. So, so there's that. Okay. Like Lois, often people ask me where I get my ideas from. And I also said the simple answer is, I don't know, you know. But the truer answer is that it comes from the mulling, the thinking, the developing, from the 5 a.m. barely awake moment to that eureka moment in the shower when the water is raining down on me and the answer to all my problems become clear and coalesce in there. However, I can't write them down because I'm in the shower and I'm wet. And so by the time I get out of the shower, a lot of those ideas have gone away. But I do keep a pad and pencil on my bedside table, so I write, sometimes in the dark, when that wonderful idea comes to me. So I'd really like to thank Lois and the symposium group for allowing me to write down, to analyze, clarify my thoughts. It seems that the ideas come uninvited, but they are actually based on a clear map in my head that juggles, mixes them up, and spews them out. But it still seems like it's magic when that unseen hand pushes my real hand to do its work. Thank you.